Hello, everyone in English 101. I am going to show you how to format an MLA document. I'm starting here on the narrative essay assignment page in the modules of week 1 because underneath the narrative essay assignment itself is something called the MLA sample essay first page, something like that. You can download this by clicking on this button right here, right below the embedded document in the menu. Click on that and go to download a copy. And that will allow you to download it. The reason you would download this is so that you can see the comments that I've put in the margin to show you what the different elements of this first page formatted in MLA style are all about. Okay, so one moment here. Now I'm showing you that document. I've downloaded it, I've opened it, and this is what you should see when you do that. You'll notice the basic elements of an MLA formatted page here. So the first page will look like this. Up in the upper margin to the right, you'll see the last name of the author and the page number. That page number counts, right? And so the way you make it count is you have to insert a page counter. And I'll explain how to do that. I'll even show you how to do that here in a second. But just understand that you can't just type the page number up there and expect it to start counting on every page after that. You'll notice, like when I scroll down here, you'll see on the next page it says last name 2. So it is actually counting. It's using a counter, but you have to set that up properly, and I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. All right, the next thing you'll notice is these first 4 lines of the essay on the first page. This is called the heading, and it's always 4 lines in MLA, and the first line is the first name and the last name of the student. The second line is the professor's first and last name, or professor and last name, however you want to do it. For me, I'm fine with you just putting Prof. Berg, okay? And then the next line is the title of the course, English 101, and it's a good idea to add the section number. For you guys, it would be 007W. And then the next line after that is the MLA formatted date. Notice how the date here is in a very specific format. The day is listed as a number. The month is listed as this spelled out month, not as a number. And the year is listed. The next thing you'll see is a centered title. That should always appear as the next line in your MLA formatted paper. The next line here is the first line of your essay, and you'll notice it's indented. You create that indent by using the tab key. It should be 1/2 inch indent. And you'll see that on the next paragraph, it does the same thing. So every single paragraph should begin with an indented line, okay? And notice how over here on the right side of the page, this is kind of a jagged edge. It's not all flat like this side is. That's good. That's the way it's supposed to be. It should not be flat over here. It should not have a straight line down. It should be jagged like this. All right. So that's the basics of an MLA formatted paper, specifically when you're writing a narrative. Here we are. We have a blank document in Microsoft Word. First thing we need to do is insert our header, okay? You don't have to do that first, but we're going to do that first. So go up to Insert, follow this over on the ribbon. This whole thing right here, this gray area is called the ribbon. On the ribbon, there's this header and footer area. In Insert, go to Page Number, top of page, and plain number 3 because it's on the right side, okay? And then hit the left arrow to get your cursor off of that number, because if you type over that number, it will get rid of the code that's counting pages for you. And you don't want that to happen because otherwise you won't have pages being counted, okay? So type your last name here and a space. The other thing we need to do while we're here is make sure that this is in Times New Roman font, because that is the official font of MLA. Okay, so highlight the whole thing, just drag your mouse over it with your left mouse button over and click on here, and then you can find Times New Roman or you can type it in. I'm going to pretend that I can't find it. Times New Roman, and make sure it's size 12. This one started out as size 12, so that's fine. Word kind of has different defaults that it starts with, and usually it's not Times New Roman, so I had to make that Times New Roman. Okay, now to get out of the header, once you finish that, you can click right down here below this segmented line, and that'll get you out of the header. Now we're at the left margin, which is where we want to be, and this is the first line of our heading. Okay, so 4 lines of heading. First one is your first name and your last name. Hit return or enter, and then type in your professor's name. In our case, this is Prof. Berg. Hit enter again, and then this is the title of the class, ENG 101-007W, right? And then hit enter again, and this is the date. Okay, remember it's supposed to be in that MLA date format, so it's going to be the 3rd of June, 2026. Okay, and then hit enter again, and this should be the line that your centered title is on. Okay, I use keyboard shortcuts. You can use keyboard shortcuts or not. The centering button is right here up in the ribbon. When you're in the Home tab, center right there. It'll pop up with it when you put your mouse over it. Or you can hit Control E, and it centers it. Okay, this is my great title. Okay, not a great title, to be honest, but it's my example of a great title. And then you hit enter again, and notice that it's centered still. So you have to hit backspace, and that'll put you back over at the left margin. And there, you know, the way I'm describing all of this, there are many different ways to do all of this stuff. I'm just kind of giving you a firsthand experience. This is the way I would do it. Okay, so now we're at the left margin. The very first line of every paragraph needs to be indented, like we saw in the example. So we indent that using the tab key. There it is. That moved us over 1/2 inch, and now we can start our first line. Okay, that's the first line of my amazing essay. And then this is another line of my amazing essay. And then I'm going to copy that and just paste that in here a bunch of times so that I have a full paragraph and I don't have to type it. And I'm doing this because I want to demonstrate a problem that we're going to have here. You'll notice that these look like they're double spaced, right? The space between here is twice this space, right? Before the next line starts. And this looks like it's double spaced. The problem is it isn't. And I know that because I'm looking at these lines and they are not double spaced. I'm not hitting enter at the end of each of these lines. So it's not adding an extra line space. Word has this funky default habit that automatically adds a line space after every time you hit enter. It's called add a space after each paragraph, okay? And there are different ways to get rid of this, but the problem is if you're using a computer at the school that you don't have, you know, sort of the rights to change things on, you can change it temporarily, but it won't permanently change it, okay? So how do you change it temporarily? This is how you do that. Hit Control A to select everything in your document. And then you want to go up to the line and paragraph spacing in the paragraph section of the ribbon and go down to remove space after paragraph. Now everything is single spaced. To double space, which is what your entire essay should be from the beginning to the end, from the first line of your heading to the end of your essay, it should be double spaced. Go back up to the line and paragraph spacing button and go to 2.0. That creates a double space, okay? Or if you're using keyboard shortcuts, you can hit Control 2. Once everything is selected, hit Control 2, and that will double space everything. Okay? So you'll notice it's all double spaced now. There should be double spaced. So the same amount of space between the title and the next line and the next line and so on, right? Here it might look like there's more space, but that's just an optical illusion because this is so far over here and this is centered, okay? Notice on the second page, we've demonstrated that we are counting numbers, which is good. We have done the header correctly so that it counts numbers. That's awesome. The next paragraph that you would start here would also be indented, just like that. Okay? So that's the basic format. The only thing I haven't done is I forgot to change the font to Times New Roman, but I can do that really easily. Just hit Control A again. That selects your entire document. And go up here and change it to Times New Roman, size 12. And there you have it. That's your properly formatted MLA essay. Okay? One thing you might want to do is save an MLA formatted document as your MLA formatted template so that when you start a new essay every time, you don't have to create the formatting again. You can just fill in, the proper date, change the professor's name if you're in a different class. Obviously, hopefully you won't have to change your name because your name should probably stay the same. The class might change, but the formatting will be the same as long as you save it, right? So you could just say, sample title or my grade title and have something filling in the space here where your first paragraph would be, just so you're keeping that indent formatting and the double spacing, and just save this. So click on File, Save As, and then, wherever you want it, but save it as MLA Format Template. And then every time you need to start a new file, a new document in MLA format, open that one up, and then save it again, but save it as whatever the new document is that you're trying to create. After that, then you're all set. You have an MLA formatted document. All right. I'll talk to you again soon. Email me with any questions you might have. See ya.